North Carolinians are reacting to the video of officers beating Nichols. A spontaneous protest of support for the family took place in Raleigh last night, and several more events are planned today across our state.
One protest just got started less than 5 minutes ago. It is in downtown Raleigh. Evan Siri, he is covering this protest live for us. Evan, the event is not just for Tyree Nichols, but also for something that happened just a little closer to home.
Yeah, that's right. And good afternoon to you, Siobhan and Sarah. Behind me, you can see a few dozen people have gathered here outside the Wake County Courthouse in protest over police brutality, both here in North Carolina and in Tennessee. We all know the Tyree Nichols case very well at this point, but one that has kind of gone under the radar is that of Darrell Williams, who died while in Raleigh police custody on January 17th. We know he was tased 3 times, and before that final time he was tased, he actually cried out that he has a heart condition. Right now, I'm joined by Greear Webb, who has been on our show multiple times. We thank him so much for his time today. He's a student and activist. He goes to the University of North Carolina, Chapel Hill. Greear, thank you for your time. Talk a little bit about, first off, your reaction to the video last night released, the body cam footage of Tyree Nichols being murdered by Memphis police officers.
Right. I think we all know how gruesome it was. I was definitely frustrated. I was angry and I was sad. My heart went out to his family there in Memphis, Tennessee, and all black people across the United States who had to endure those details. I mean, this happens over and over again, and so I really think it's time for systemic change. It's taking such an emotional toll on black Americans and on all Americans who read those details or saw that video. And so I think for me, as a young person, as a young black man, I was definitely disheartened, but I recommitted myself to fighting these systems of inequity that plague black Americans daily.
We are almost 2 years removed from the George Floyd murder. That was in 2020. Actually, we are well over 2 years.
Right.
It's 2023. I'm sorry, guys. To be here again 2.5 years later, what's that feel like?
I remember standing here 2.5 years ago and fighting for this same type of justice, this same type of reform. And I think now it's time for transformation. We know that our policing system, law enforcement in the United States was birthed out of racism. And so I want to change that. I want us to transform our system of community safety into a system that works for all of us. And so you can hear behind me some of the demands, and the organizers of Raleigh demands justice. North Carolina, our state, is demanding justice right now. And I want to be a part of that. I want to make sure that all Americans, and specifically marginalized Americans, are kept safe in the future.
Greear, be safe out here today. We thank you so much for your time. This was Greear Webb, a student and activist here who will be participating in the protests behind me in front of the Wake County Courthouse. It all started just a few minutes ago. This is again against police brutality, both here in North Carolina and in Tennessee. We will have updates for you throughout the day. I'm in Raleigh. Evan Siri, Spectrum News 1.
And you can feel the pain there following that gut-wrenching, heartbreaking video. Evan, thank you for that. We'll stay in touch.
And to stay up to date on the latest from this story and more news impacting you, you can download the Spectrum News app.
Yeah, it has the latest news in North Carolina, also has your weather, sports, and much more right in the palm of your hand. It's free to download in your app store.